Hello everyone, AXL here with DGK in Kingdom 15, and in this video we're just going to go over sort of all of the buildings and the upgrade priorities of those buildings. So we'll start off with the, I guess, most important building, which is the Stronghold. That's the main building in your sort of estate, and we're just going to go into some of the information. You'll see here basic information, which tells you kind of the march capacity, as well as some other stuff like your buildings and what levels your buildings are. So you can view all of that information here. If you click on more information, you kind of can see the march capacity at each of the stronghold levels. You'll see here all of the basic march capacities, and then just the power that the building will have once once you reach that level. Next we're going to go over all of the buildings, but we're going to do it in sort of different tiers, going from sort of least important to most important, just in terms of upgrades. Alright, so this group of buildings here in the back are buildings that you cannot upgrade. So we'll start with those. Your Celestial Globe, this is pretty well known to everyone. Basically every day you have Celestial Globe missions, or actually every 7 hours, I believe, or I don't know if, I think it's actually 8 hours, not 7 hours. I might be wrong, but yeah, I think it's 8 hours. So basically you get 3 sets of global or Celestial Globe missions every day. So 8 missions every reset. So all in all, you get a total of 24 missions per day. The next building is the drill grounds, and this is where you can go and kind of set up your troop formations, but also you can kind of take a look at your troops and how many of each type there are, and within each type how many of each tier you have. So you can kind of go through the list and see what you have. And then one thing that's really useful is up at the top, total troops. You'll see the total number of troops you have and how many of those troops are in your base currently. So should I send a march out right now for like 300 gate troops, then you'll see this first number go down by 300. So you can easily tell how many troops you currently have in your estate. You can also see the total upkeep right now, which is 3.9 million per hour. So if your apples go over the amount that is covered by your warehouse, then that those apples will kind of drop at that rate, and we'll talk about warehouse a little bit later. So as far as troop formations go, I'm not going to go into too much about this, but you basically kind of have your own setups, and each person might have their own preferences, but I'll kind of just go over what my preferences are. So the first 4 are just basically standard attacking formations. I use these usually during the Celestial Globe missions to send them out to attack the threats, like these threat missions. So that's what I'll use the first 4 for. And then the 5th one, I usually set up, and let me fix this a little bit, but I usually have this set up as my group that I send to the Alliance Silver Mine. So for those of you who don't know, artillery has the highest troop load, and then next highest would be infantry. So the maximum amount of silver you can take back is if you max out artillery, and then if you don't have a full march of artillery, fill the rest with infantry. And obviously you want to kind of pick two of your highest heroes, that way you can maximize that troop march capacity. And then number 6, I just have a standard PvP attack formation. So this is not really, I don't use this too much, to be honest. If I'm attacking, most times I'm kind of customizing things as I go according to the needs. So this isn't really set in stone. Number 7, I use this for attacking on the Titan for the Titan event, and that's this one over here, right here. I'm not going to go into too much about my actual formation and why I pick certain troops and how many of each. I'll go over that in a future video when I go over troops and heroes, but that's what I use number 7 for. And number 8 I use for, I don't know why I have infantry here. Okay, let me take that off. Number 8 I use for the abyssal mines, just in case I need to quickly set the troops for abyssal mines. This should be the reason why this is kind of not set. I should have distance here in this formation as well. This is because abyssal mines I have a much higher troop capacity because I'm using bonuses in march capacity and attack and defense. So my march capacity I think is actually 370 something thousand. If you want to know more about that, watch the abyssal mine video. I think it's actually both the ancient tombs and abyssal mine. So go watch that video if you want to know more about that. So that's pretty much the drill grounds. Next building is the Seamaster statue, and this is where you can go in and upgrade your Seamaster equipment, your crown, your trident, and your armor and your shield. So each of these do different things. The crown gives you resources basically when you use it. Your trident gives you increase to attack for a short amount of time, and your armor gives you not only a peace shield but also it increases the defense and health of your army for a certain amount of time. So for your main base, these two are very important. For your farm base, your crown will be your most important one, and then potentially also your armor. And then the last one, the cuff. Sorry, I thought I said shield before. It's actually a cuff, not a shield. This gives you a certain amount of troops. Depending on how upgraded it is, they'll give you a certain tier of troops. This one is not very important. I actually made a mistake in upgrading this so much. It's not super helpful. I would much rather focus on the trident and the armor to increase the attack and defense as buffs. So that is the Seamaster statue. Then you have your ancient tombs. I'm not going to go much into this, but basically this is where you have your creature and you can defeat nodes, and there's 8 different floors. And if you want more details about this, go watch the ancient tombs and abyssal mines video. This one, exchange. So the market stall is where you can exchange resources for a different type of resource. Mainly the resource exchange is these first 2 slots of these bottom 8. And then there's other things that might be useful, like recalls, and there's also speed ups that you can get. But this is where you can kind of exchange goods at a profit. You can see here there's a 20% discount for this one and a 10% discount for this one. So you can kind of use this and kind of make profits every day. And this is something you definitely want to do, because this is a way to sort of make free resources. So you're getting pretty much an instant return. So you can see here that I'm spending 4,000 crystal to get 5,000 apples. So essentially, you're making a 20% profit by doing that. Same thing with all the other resources. So this is something you want to kind of do every single day and sort of just make these exchanges to get free resources, and certain things that you need, like for example, a recall or a speed up. Okay, the next thing is the sanctuary. So this building, hopefully you don't use too often. If you're using this very often, then you're doing something wrong. But basically, this is where your uh, mortally wounded troops go in the event that your state is attacked and your hospital cannot fit all of the sort of injured troops. So if you have more injured troops than what your hospitals can hold, they will go to actually your alliance hospital first, and then if it can't fit in the alliance hospital, this is where all the troops will go, the sanctuary. This is actually better than the alliance hospital, because all that's needed in the sanctuary is time. So as time goes by, you'll be able to build up holy water, which in turn will heal your troops. So a couple of things of note here. I don't have any troops in here right now, but two things of note is that you want to, if you have troops in the sanctuary waiting to be healed, your holy water will build at a certain speed. And in order to keep that speed high, there's two things. One is you don't want to have any troops in your hospital, and by hospital I mean your, a state hospital. So you want to make sure that all the troops in your hospital are healed, and that will make sure that you're getting a high bonus for having your hospital clear, and the bonus is the bonus to speed of you gaining holy water. The other thing you want to make sure is that it says the closer your holy water is to its upper limit, the slower it will be. So you don't want to kind of wait a long time and then revive. You kind of want to just keep reviving. If you're online, you want to just keep on reviving and keeping the holy water as low as possible, because the lower the holy water is, the faster you'll gain that holy water. So that's what the sanctuary is. Okay, so this next group of buildings are buildings that are people don't commonly need to focus on. They're more of low priority upgrades. Okay, so the first one is the Alliance Warehouse. So you will naturally need to upgrade the Alliance Warehouse because it's a prerequisite for certain stronghold levels. And I would say until you kind of reach maximum stronghold, which is 35, I wouldn't necessarily spend any resources upgrading the warehouse. Although it is good to be able to protect more of your resources, which is what the Alliance Warehouse does, right? You can see here it is protecting 890,000 plus 127,000 resources. So effectively, I'm protecting quick maths, about 117 no 1.027 million food. But Basically, that's what the Alliance warehouse is for. If you go to information, you can see what I was just looking at before. If you click on more information, it'll kind of tell you, how much resources you can protect at each of the levels. And that's what you can do for all the buildings, by the way. You can go into more information and kind of see what you get at each level. But yeah, like I said, it is a prerequisite for certain stronghold levels. Like I believe 19 requires you to upgrade your warehouse to level 19 before you can go to stronghold 20. And then there's another one, I forget at what level, but the point is, you don't really need to focus on this too much. It's one of the lower priorities. I forgot to put this in this section. This is a building that you cannot upgrade. So I had that in the wrong section, but this is, you can go through this one time, and I think we're past that, so I don't really think this building is of any use anymore. But basically, there's certain missions. The missions can be for the individual, for the alliance, or for the entire kingdom. And if during that time you succeed in that mission, then you get kind of the rewards that are shown. So that's really what the Adventure Legends are. All right, moving on to the trade station. Very useless building. So really what this building is for is you can request resources, and you can kind of make a request for food, or for crystals, or for stone, or for silver, and your fellow alliance members can kind of donate that those resources to you. And the reason why I say this is useless is because the alternative is basically just to drop your alliance tag and let them attack you for the resources, because this charges tax. And if you go to information and you go to more information, you can kind of see what the trading fee is at each level. And at the higher you upgrade the trade station, the lower that tax is. So you can see here, right now I'm at level 16, and so my tax is 25%. So basically, if I give someone 100,000 silver, effectively I'm only giving them 75,000 silver, because I lose 25,000 silver. So it's really not worth it to be doing trades using the trade station. You're losing a lot of resources there. The next one is the tavern. So upgrading the tavern will get you more daily attempts, as well as I believe the timer for the accruement of the A level, guaranteed A level. So this first one up here, this one, which kind of after a certain number of attempts will allow you to recruit one for free. And I forget how many attempts it takes to get a free one, or a free or a guaranteed A or S. I think it's 5. I want to say 5. But yeah, it reduces this timer for the top one, and then the bottom one, the more you upgrade, the more attempts you'll get. And you can kind of take a look at basically what each level does. Like I said, for every building you can go into info, you can go into more info, and you can see at what levels sort of things will increase. So you can see here that I am currently level 20, which gives me 6 free standard recruitment attempts. So really I should upgrade this to 21 and jump from 6 to 7. I think that's pretty worth it, because it's going from 6 to 7, and you don't go up in these free attempts every time you upgrade. You can see here that 16 through 20 you get 6. So yeah, this will just tell you basically what you get at each level. But again, not very high priority, I would say. The next one is the munitions exchange building. So basically, when you upgrade this building, what you get is basically the number of free exchanges goes up. Not every level, but every level will increase the amounts you see here per exchange. So basically, you're getting free resources. That's what this is for. And then after you've used your free resources, you can exchange gold for resources. And every time you exchange, the gold goes up and the amount of resources you get goes up as well. So after a certain number, it's it's not worth it after a certain kind of value or exchange rate, if you will. So I haven't done the calculations, but yeah, I mean, the only reason to upgrade this is to get more free exchanges, and you can go into again more information. You can see at level 14, I'm getting 7 free. So this is again a relatively low priority building. If you have the free builder and the free and extra resources, you can upgrade this if you want. But again, it's relatively low priority. Another thing is the lookout tower. Now, the lookout tower is actually higher priority than the rest of stuff in this group. However, it's up to a certain level, let's just say. So let's take a look at the information here and go to more information. So you can see here what you get at each level. So you can take a look at these columns here, and you can see what the benefits are of each level, but also the scout prevention level is the thing you also want to look at. So currently I am at level 25. So I would say the reason why I have it in this group is usually what most people do, especially if you're sort of early on, the highest you want to kind of reach is 22, because 22 is where you get the last benefit. The rest of this, there are no more benefits other than 22, or after 22, I should say. So I pretty much upgraded my lookout tower to 22 and kind of just left it until right now. After I've kind of maxed my stronghold, I went back and I'm upgrading this more just because of the scout prevention level. And what this means is this: so anyone that is below a stronghold 20, when they scout me, they're going to get inaccurate information. So when they look at the number of troops I have, what kind of troops I have, they're going to get inaccurate information. The scout will still work, but it will give them kind of false information. So that's the reason to upgrade the lookout tower. So I would say, until you reach maybe stronghold 35 or close to it, I would just leave this at 22 to get that last benefit and kind of just leave this. Because at level 22, if you look at the sort of inverse relationship, at level 22, you can scout a 27 or below and you will get accurate information. So you can look at it that way. So it is important to upgrade in the future to get accurate information. If I'm scouting a level 30, this is why I upgraded it to 25, and I'll upgrade this more in the future. But if I scout a level 30, I can get accurate information. So I should take this theoretically to at least level 30, because that will allow me to pretty much accurately scout every single stronghold level. But then if I want to, I can kind of upgrade past that to level 35, and the reason for that is to prevent anyone who is stronghold level below 30 from getting accurate scouting of my stronghold. Alright, so that is all of this tier of buildings. The next tier are buildings that are important. They're not of the highest importance, but they are very important to upgrade. Okay, first one we'll talk about is the Forge. So the Forge is a building that, upgrade when you can, for sure, but it's not essential to kind of upgrade that every time you upgrade your stronghold, although it's nice to do it. And really what the forge is the, it's used to kind of craft and to upgrade your equipment. And what you get when you upgrade, and I go into this a little bit during the equipment video, but if you go to more information, every time you upgrade, you reduce the steel consumption by 0.5%. And basically what that allows you to do is dismantle your equipment, and you get all the sort of steel back from the upgrades and the cost of the actual forging of the equipment. So you get all your steel back, and then when you rebuild your equipment and upgrade it back, you'll kind of get a 0.5% discount if you have upgraded your building at least one level above where it was when you originally crafted your gear. So basically, as time goes on, when you upgrade this building, you will get more and more steel back by dismantling and recrafting your equipment. All right, the next one is the airship dock. Now, this is, I would say, out of this group, this is one of the lower priorities, the airship dock. It is important to upgrade, and the only reason you upgrade this building is that you get parts every time you upgrade. And if you kind of look at, what you're getting at the end, you're getting a significant amount of, parts for each of your airship sort of I guess parts or pieces or components. That's the word I was looking for. So you got your engine, you got your hull, you got your cannon, and you got your envelope, and you're getting pieces for these every time you upgrade for free. So again, out of this group, I would say this is the lowest priority, but it is nice to upgrade to get those parts if you're, short a couple of, pieces for a certain component. You can kind of go in, take a look at what you need to upgrade to, and get those, free components, basically. All right. The military tents. So the military tents you upgrade to increase the amount of troops you can train per, I guess, every time. So total training capacity you can see here. And then you can also, if you go into more information, see that when you upgrade, you also get a boost to training speed. So you can see here every level adds 1% boost to your training speed, and that is something that not many people, well, not, I would say not all people know. So every upgrade of a tent, you gain, I believe, 10 training capacity. You can see here 10 training capacity, and like I said, you gain 1% to your troop training speed as well. So it is nice to upgrade these buildings, that way you can train more troops at once. But I would say towards or in the beginning, I would say your primary goal, I would say, is to bring this up to a level where a full sort of train at max training capacity will take roughly 24 hours, because it depends how frequently you log on, right? If you log on a daily basis and you're kind of just doing your dailies, it's nice to kind of set that and have the troops kind of finish right after, the reset is done, or whenever you log on, so that you can get that daily kind of quest done for the troop training, which is, I believe, like 50 troops and 150 troops. Yeah. So that's the military tents. Hospitals. So Alliance Hospital apparently have some stuff in here. This is from attacking before. Okay. So your Alliance hospitals are used to heal your injured troops, and they have a capacity. You can see sort of what the individual capacity is for this specific hospital, and you can see what the cumulative hospital capacity is with all your hospitals, and as well as the bonuses you're getting from certain things like research and other things. So if you go into more information, again, you can see the increase in hospital capacity. Every level will increase your hospital capacity by 1,000. And so it is important for you to try and keep up your hospitals. You want to try and be as close as possible to, I guess, the full march. But not everyone is able to kind of keep up with this. By keep up, when I say keep up, I mean keep up with your stronghold level. So that's why it's not in the most important tier. You want to have this as high as possible and upgrade it. You don't want to fall too far behind your stronghold level. You want to kind of keep this close to or on par with your march capacity. So kind of take a look at this number, whatever the base plus the bonuses, and try and keep that close to or at your march capacity. There will be a point where you probably drop behind or fall behind because you gain march capacity a lot when you're upgrading your stronghold, but try and keep as close as possible. Next set of buildings are the troop buildings. So the troop buildings are important, very important. That's one of the main buildings you kind of want to focus on in your main account. And basically, I would say what I do is I prep them the level before you're getting a new troop. And what I mean is this. So if you go into the building again, same thing, go to more information, you can see when you unlock the next tier of troops. So you can see here, this is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, tier 7, tier 8, tier 9, tier 10, and finally tier 11. So you can kind of plan this out. So let's say hypothetically, right, you are at stronghold 20, right? You just upgraded to 20. So when you upgrade to 20, right, you do not need to upgrade your troop buildings because you're not getting anything for upgrading to 20. The next tier up is at stronghold 22 or level 22 of this building. So what I do is when I reach stronghold 21, this is when I will upgrade all of my troop buildings to 21. So basically at 21, I'll have all of my troop buildings upgraded to 21 so that when I go to 22, I only have one level to go to upgrade them to 22 to get the tier 8 troops. And I'll, rinse and repeat that for every single kind of level. So at level stronghold 29, I will, upgrade my 26 level troop buildings to 29 in preparation for 30 when I'm going to be getting tier 10 troops. So it's important, but you're not upgrading this every time you upgrade your stronghold. All right, most important buildings. 3 buildings. Other than the troop buildings, which are important, but like I said, you don't upgrade every stronghold. These 3 buildings you want to upgrade every stronghold. I would say out of these 3, the research might be slightly lower priority just because, there's a lot of research and you are not going to keep up with your research versus the stronghold level. There's plenty of stuff to research, but you definitely want to try and upgrade this every single stronghold level. So whatever your stronghold is, your academy should be. And I mean, I'm not going to go into the research. There'll be a separate research video for this. But if you do go into more info, there's really nothing here. There are level limits to the upgrades themselves in here, and you'll see that when you reach a limit, it'll say kind of will require stronghold or will require research level, whatever the next one is. 2 buildings you want to always upgrade every single stronghold level is your embassy and your hall of war. The embassy is actually a prerequisite of the Hall of War. So every time you upgrade the Hall of War, you need to have the embassy also um, at that level. So if you want to upgrade, let's say hypothetically there's a Stronghold 36. If I want to upgrade my Hall of War to level 36, I have to upgrade my embassy first. And what these two buildings do, the embassy increases your reinforcement capacity. So this is how many troops others can send to you. It also increases your timer help duration, as well as the number of timer helps you can get, right? So basically, you can see here when I do something and I ask for help, like with the healing, it'll ask your alliance members to help you, and this will determine how long that timer stays up, as well as how many people can actually click on that timer to help you. And the more important thing is the reinforcement capacity. So this is very important so that when you're being attacked, your alliance members can send troops to your castle to reinforce your castle to defend against attack. So this is very important to upgrade. Hall of War, this determines your rally capacity. This is also important. So when you're setting rallies, whether that be for events like Ancient Gates, or whether that's for actually PvP events or just PvP in general. If you're setting a rally, whether that be on a castle or on a tower or whatever the case may be, this determines how many troops you can have in your rally. So this is very, very important. So these three buildings you want to try and upgrade every time you upgrade your stronghold. Now I know I missed the resource buildings. I was saving them to last. So resource buildings are a toss-up. Depends on what type of player you are. If you are a free-to-play player, you probably want to upgrade these, because this is how you make resources every day. Obviously, there's other ways as well, like the farm, and there's a farm video if you want to go watch that one. But this is how you get resources. So you probably want to upgrade these. At least the ones that are more important to you, like silver and apples, which people are typically short those two resources. So but for people who may not be free to play, maybe they're getting their resources elsewhere from raiding or from just purchasing packs. These are maybe less important. I definitely, I still upgrade the silver ones because obviously silver is a big bottleneck for everyone. So I did upgrade those, but like I said, this is kind of your own. It depends on your play style and what your needs are. So that's why I left these till the end. One quick thing I do want to mention about these buildings. I'm not going to go into kind of the information, but each of them will have kind of the production and the storage level at each of the levels. When you upgrade, you can take a look yourself if you want. But one thing I do want to mention is if you go into settings, I hope everyone knows this, but you can go into settings and you can change a certain setting that allows you to gather all of one type of resource by clicking on just one of them. So instead of having to click individually on each silver mine, I can click one silver mine and gather all of the silver. So you can do that by going to your profile, settings, game settings, and then go down here. You can see here that enables you to harvest all same type resources when tapping on the resource bubble of any resource building. So that's something you definitely want to turn on, just to save you some clicking time. There's some non-movable stuff like cave, mermaid, and the abyssal mines. I'm not going to go over those because those are covered or will be covered in other videos. But that is pretty much it for buildings. Hopefully this was helpful. I think most of this knowledge people already have, but maybe there's something that you didn't know. and hopefully I've covered that. One thing, sorry, last thing, wall is also something you can upgrade. I didn't really mention it because you're kind of forced to upgrade the wall um, every single time because it's always a prerequisite for the next stronghold once you reach a certain level. So I didn't really typically talk about this. The one thing I will mention, if you go into your wall defense, when you get attacked, your kind of wall health will go down. And you know you can repair it and then by 100, and then there's like a sort of a cooldown. You gotta wait a certain amount of time before you can repair it again. Just so everyone knows, when you teleport, you automatically heal, so that kind of saves you on having to repair it. But that's the only thing I want to mention for the wall. All right, I think that will do it for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to put that in the comments or message me on Discord. All right, later.